more games just be like Monday? I mean, how glorious was Monday night at Citi Field? I lost my voice a little bit. I had a blast at the ballpark watching the Mets with a brotherly blowout against the team from the city of brotherly love. And the Mets showed them a lot of love, scoring 13 runs on the Phillies. What a performance from the Mets. My goodness, a touchdown, an extra point, and 2 field goals. The Jets beat the Eagles. What a sight. And, this is a team now that has lost 8 straight at Citi Field, the Phillies, against the Mets. The Mets have owned the Phillies in Queens. Now, can the Mets own them in the division? The lead goes from 7 to 6. It's still a long way, but hey, the Mets win today and tomorrow. It's down to 4. You got 4 in Philly. We'll see. We've seen crazier things. The Mets know it themselves when they blew 7-game lead in 17 games back in 2007. So anything could happen here. And for the Mets, everyone was involved. And it was just such a joy to watch. The team down 3-0 early. Senga only able to go 4 innings. But then in that 4th inning, 2-out magic, just 2-out hit after hit after hit. And just everyone getting involved. 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th. And then they break it out with 3 in the 8th. And, the bullpen, no hits in 5 innings of work. Senga only gave you 4. He wasn't very good. 3 walks, 3 runs, 6 hits. But 0 hits from the bullpen. Castillo, Rogers, Raley, Helsley, Stanek. How rare is that? That you get 5 different Mets relievers all not giving up a hit. So shout out to the bullpen and shout out to this lineup. This was a team 11 for 19 with runs in scoring position. Can you save something for today? Can you save something for tomorrow? My God, where has this Mets team been? And man, Swaggy V, what else can you say about Mark Vientos in the last 7 to 10 days? This guy's the hottest hitter on the planet. The ladies love him. Now the team loves him. He's hitting the baseball, and he's got to continue playing. No more, they've been good about keep playing him. No more switching up the lineup. Play Mark every day because they need his bat right now. They need his pop. And once again, he was brilliant. And, the people behind me for the second half of the game, I was behind the Mets dugout, had a Tyrone Taylor shirt on. Shout out to them. I was chatting up with them. I was like, are you guys family and friends of Tyrone Taylor? They're like, no, we're not. We just like Tyrone Taylor. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've bashed him on Mets Daily. Tyrone Taylor, welcome back into the mix. Listen, when the lefty's pitching, at this point, if Taylor's going to hit now, you got to play him over Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins has not been good defensively, has not done a ton of the plate. He's been fine, but hasn't done a ton. You're facing a Cy Young candidate, Christopher Sanchez, and you beat this guy up for 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned runs in the midst of a stupid Alec Boehm complaining about a thing in center field. There's a delay. I was glad there was a delay because we were up doing a food review, so I was glad about it. But I was like, what's going on here? Well, the weather's perfect. It was literally a perfect night. So Alec Boehm being a little baby back, with that. He had a 2-run single with that earlier, but then he gets to the double play and he's complaining about it. Like the crybaby that he is. But shout out to those people in those Tyrone Taylor. I mean, they had to get them customized. They looked very janky, like they were like from below, I love TJ Maxx, like a below a TJ Maxx, like they got him on the street somewhere. But shout out to them because Tyrone Taylor 3 for 4 day with an RBI. McNeil, he's been scorching hot, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs. Luis Torrens 3 for 5, a home run and 5 RBIs. He has woken up. Just a brilliant night at Citi Field, and now you're thinking, all right, can Sean Manaea give us a big start? We know Sean Manaea, what he did against the Phillies in the playoffs. He knows them well. This is a big night here tonight for Sean Manaea because I think we all feel pretty damn down about Sean Manaea right now. He's going up against another lefty in Jesus Luzardo. Manaea's got to shove. You're questioning if he's going to be a playoff starter with how bad he's been pitching. This is a statement game for him against the Phillies, and if he can win, you go into tomorrow facing Taijuan Walker, your old friend, who's not very good, but he's a mixed bag of goods, Taijuan Walker. He has improved after a dreadful start for the Phillies. His ERA is 3.44. But you got Nolan McLean at Citi Field tomorrow. If you could get Manaea to shove and the bats to do something close to what they did last night, you're feeling good about this series. So we'll see what happens. Luis Torrens was a hero on Monday, but hey, in about 10 days, maybe Francisco Alvarez is a hero. Somehow, some way, Francisco Alvarez may begin a rehab assignment this week. I thought that thumb injury, there's a shot he's going to be done for the year. And listen, there's still a chance he doesn't return. Remember, he's going to try it. This is a guy who's going to try to catch with a UCL, with a thumb injury. We'll see. It might not work, but he's going to give it a whirl. And he was hitting batting practice at Citi Field on Monday. So either tomorrow or Thursday, Alvy's going to start rehabbing and see if he could come back. And if he does, wow, what a push that is for a Mets lineup that's getting some juice here from McNeil, from Vientos, from that bottom of the order. If you can get a healthy Alvy, and you have Alvy, you have Vientos, you have McNeil, God forbid Pete Alonso gets it going. Listen, the Mets, since the last 2 months when they've been one of the worst teams in baseball in the last 2 months, coincidentally is when Pete Alonso's downturn began. And this team, when Pete Alonso was great, they were riding with him first half. They were the best team in baseball. When he got bad, they've been the worst. So if these guys that are hitting, and McNeil and Alvarez when he comes back, and Vientos are hitting, and Beatty, and then you get a Pete Alonso first half, Pete Alonso, it becomes very scary what the Mets can do. And this is why we think positive. We have this glimmer of hope that we can win a ring, because the potential is there. We just haven't seen it all come together. It's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. But if it all comes together like this, and it's part of our master plan, then the Mets can maybe, I'm not going to say they win the division, but they get in the playoffs, go on a run. Reds lost. 2.5 game lead. Another guy coming back, Jose Siri, is looking like he is going to begin rehab later this week. Now, remember, Siri's been out since mid-April, so he's going to need a bit more than like a couple of rehab games. The season's almost ending down there, so he's not going to get a ton of games. But Siri, I think's timeline is a little longer. Like, he's not going to be back in a week, maybe 2, maybe 3. My guess is, sometime mid-September for Siri. Similar probably to Alvarez, maybe a little bit before for Alvarez. But more guys are on the horizon, and that's great news for a Mets team that, you get those extra 2 roster spots. So you think about Siri, you think about Alvarez. You also think about, Jonah Tong and Brandon Sproat, who we've talked about. I think they're going to come here at some point. And, for now, maybe it's them, or maybe it's a combination of them and Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill has a chance to start now on Friday, as the Mets potentially look for a 6th starter to give Senga, Peterson, give them that extra day if they want to go to 6-man rotation. Remember, the Mets aren't off again until next Thursday, so they might want to have an extra arm. The bullpen's getting taxed. You could probably use these guys at this point of the season, pitching way beyond any innings they've pitched before. The extra day of rest. Senga went on a normal 4 days and was not very good last night, so they may want to give him an extra day. And if that's the case, maybe it's Sproat, but maybe it's a Sproat or a Tong McGill piggyback, which we talked about yesterday. So I think there's a chance Tyler McGill is back with this team this weekend. And listen, I know a lot of people don't like Tyler McGill. The reality is you could use him right now. With how taxed some of these guys are, with the struggles they've gotten from the starting pitching staff. Now, it's been a little bit better the last week or two since McClain got here, but still, there are holes in that arsenal. You can use Reed Garrett. You can use Tyler McGill. Reed Garrett, I'm going to mention in a second, but I'm fascinated to see. Reed Garrett just threw Friday, 65 pitches in AAA. Looked good. I believe he just gave him a hit. He's been striking guys out. So his pitch count's up to 65. He's not going to be a 7-inning guy, but I think they're looking at Reed Garrett as, hey, can you be a 3 or 4, and then we'll put Sproat, or we'll start Sproat for 3, and then use McGill 4 through 6. Like I talked about, the Mets are going to get creative here with their pitching staff, and I say bring them all here. Montas obviously done now. His Mets tenure's over. You get McGill, get Sproat, get Tong. Hell, I'd move on from Stanek. I just think I'd rather have one of these kids here, McGill, than have Stanek here. Reed Garrett, that's the other news. He is on the IL, elbow inflammation. My guess is Reed Garrett's done for the year. And listen, Reed Garrett's been dreadful for the Mets lately, and now I think we know why. His arms has fallen off. I mean, he was used so often that, you couldn't use Reed Garrett anymore. Elbow inflammation, he's out. So McGill will replace Garrett, essentially, except be, more of a multi-inning guy. Jose Castillo came up, pitched well last night. Jose Castillo has actually been brilliant in a Mets uniform. Remember they got him, he had like a 12 ERA with the Diamondbacks in limited time. Jose Castillo's been fantastic, so he's back. He was good last night. He might have a role in this team. Again, don't get fancy with him. Don't be using him in one-run games, but I think the Mets could use that, influx of arms, 2 roster spots. It might look like, hey, those 2 roster spots might be 2 pitchers. They may go 2 pitchers instead of a pitcher and a hitter, but we'll see how they construct the roster. Sean and I on the hill tonight. Let's go Mets. Great time at the ballpark on Monday. Great to see everyone. I went with a couple of Phillies fans. You know, my buddy who I went with was laughing because every 2 seconds I run into someone I know. So it's a little bit of annoying if you're with me at a Mets game, but we had a blast. What a game. What a win. And let's keep it going. You can smash that thumbs up on this video. Remember, if you're a Mets Daily Insider member, just $5 a month, you'll have a chance for 2 tickets to Mets Padres in September. Courtesy of me. Courtesy of me. Not even fan arch. It's all me. For the people, by the people. At Jake Brown Live is where you get me. Make sure you go to myplayback.tv as well. We watch the games on playback. Not yesterday because I was there, but we watch on there. My buddy Draftnik Mark, who I was talking to last night at the game, he's on there. So check out playback.tv, my TikTok live, pre and post games, at Jake Brown Live, my Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. F the Phillies. Let's go Mets. Let's win another. Let's score 16 runs tonight. How about that? Let's go Mets. Thanks for watching Mets Daily. And remember, hit that subscribe button. We'll talk to you tomorrow.